What's up, everyone? Welcome to MonoCast, the show where the points don't matter. That's right. Just like Trump's, his tower. It doesn't matter anymore because he's the president.
What?
I'm your host, S Money, Sean, and next to me is
Emma.
Yay! Hey, Emma's here.
Give me a clap.
Let's get you a clap again. Here we go. Everyone, on your feet.
Don't stop. Can't stop. Feet. Don't stop. Move your feet. Can't stop.
Alright. On today's episode, we got some interesting things to talk about. We're going to talk about my freaky-ass dream I had last night of the punk agent. It was weird. We're going to talk about some interesting gaming news that I think you all enjoy. I got a couple of good thingies. And then we're gonna do the new segment that I'm officially calling Discord Queries. And I'm probably not gonna keep that name. But
just like MonoCast.
Yeah. People ask me stuff in Discord because I at everyone them like 3 times, and then they're forced to answer me. So if you want to be forced to answer my questions and ask me stuff, then join the Discord. Link is in the description. It might not be, but I'm trying, okay? Stuff's hard. And then we're gonna tell some
Yep.
tell some scary stories. Again, as read by Emma. I'm gonna read one too. Alright. So first we're just gonna get into a couple channel updates, nothing too big. First one, biggest one of the week. After this week doesn't matter, but
should go back to just normal, scheduled time.
Right. Friday and Saturday I will not be streaming, not be making any videos of or whatever. Maybe me and Emma will make a goofy one in Vermont because we'll be going to Vermont on Friday because my sister's wedding is on Saturday. And yeah, that's why I'm not going to be streaming or doing anything because we'll be around.
We're going to be driving. We're not going to have a single day off this week of work for next week or like ever.
Yeah. I personally, Friday and Saturday are technically my days off, but I'll be so busy and like
driving 6 hours.
Yeah, tired as hell. I'm not going to count that. So me, myself, I won't have a day off for literally 2 straight weeks. Like 14 straight days. And before those 14 straight days, I had 1 day off. Then I worked 5 days. And then I went to a concert, which was last week. So I have not had time to just sit around naked and play with my weenie. I will have that time for a very long time. But you know, I do it in the name of being forced to. So there's that.
Do it in the name of a man.
Yeah.
The corporate man.
Saturday we're spending the night in Vermont. It's 3 hours almost away from where we are, middle of New Hampshire, and I had to work the next day, like hungover probably, and if I am hungover, I am drinking alcohol because that actually worked that one time.
We'll wake up and just drink, and then at least we work together.
Yeah,
so
it's only 4 hours.
Can just roll in like.
I don't even know if I'll be able to make it, but yeah. So Sunday is also up in the air, but I'm sure I'll do something because even if I just stream for an hour and a half, it'd be better than nothing. Because Mondays are the off days.
We could do something chill, like Minecraft or like.
Yeah, true.
Like something chill. It doesn't have to be something that's like. I mean, unless you want to do something that's lit.
I do not know.
We will see.
So yeah, there's all that stuff. Other than that, as far as channel updates go, there's not really too much. There's a couple like things. Might take Overwatch out of my schedule because it's been like 4 straight weeks of literally nothing to show for it, and it's just like I get bored because no one plays with me. So I get bored as hell, because when I stream, what's fun is playing with people. What's not fun is not playing with people. So I might do that. I might do it at least one more time, maybe a couple more, and then we'll see where it is. And some fucking douchebag was messaging me, being like, "You suck," and like I was like the only one like paying attention to it. I was like, "Really?"
Oh, I had no idea.
So that pissed me the fuck off, and also put me in a bad mood last night. And we started talking about like sad stuff. But so yeah, there's that, and I also might release another song in the next few days. But whoop-de-doo, huh? And all right, let's get on to my dream. I already told Emma this, so she might not have much of a reaction. But the punk agent was in my dream, and he was a psychopathic murderer. It's pretty crazy. So this morning, I woke up at 7:30. Couldn't fall back asleep till like 9:30. But in the meantime, I tried reading my comic books, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, where it's like a ton of different Spider-Men come together, because like there's this one group of people called the Inheritors who are trying to kill all the Spider-Men in all of the multiverses, and they've killed a lot, and they want to eat them and stuff, and so a bunch of them get together and like try and fight them off. I haven't got to that part yet, but in my dream, me and Emma were at a water park place, and the punk agent, who's famous around here, you should know him if you don't. He has a sick song called Shooting Star or something. He goes, "I'm a shooting star."
Oh my god.
And we're like trying to find him, and I was like, "Where's the punk agent?" But then we started swimming in the lake, and there's like a boat that goes on the lake, and for some reason I just knew he was on the boat, so I screamed his name, and he like screams back my name, but like in an angry, evil devil voice. I was like, "What the fuck?" So like later on I find out the punk agent has broken mentally and has become a psychopath and killed this guy's mom, who happened to be a Spider-Man. And then he went out and tried to get revenge out on the punk agent. Right? And then, this is my favorite part, Emma comes through my window as Spider-Girl, and she's all like naked and stuff. Cause when I was reading the comic books, like there's so many like Spider women, I was like, damn, there's a lot of Spider Girls. I was like, what if Emma got a Spider Girl outfit? And then she's in my dream, and it was dope. But then she had to inform me that my mom was gonna die. And that made me really sad, and I woke up crying. Well, there you go. Hope you're still sticking around. That's my dream. The punk agent being a psycho, sick son of a bitch. And, yeah. And what do you think of my dream? Rate it. If it was a movie, what would it be? If it was like there's a sequel to the Spider-Man movie, how would you rate it?
It'd be good.
Yeah?
It would definitely be good. 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
80%? That's pretty good for a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sean likes to. I think it's because he took melatonin and it was trying to force him to go to sleep, so his body was all like loopy.
Yeah, I also think it was the melatonin.
Yeah, I just think that he was too loopy, and it just made that happen. Cause like he told me a couple other dreams that he had, like also that were so weird like that and made no sense.
Yeah.
So that's my thought.
I read some things when I bought the ashwagandha that they're like, this helps me better than melatonin, because melatonin gives me weird dreams.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I feel like every time I've had melatonin, I get like weird dreams.
Yeah.
Or like I dream a lot more.
Mhm. Ashwagandha is like a plant or something that like
yeah.
It's a vitamin or whatever.
Vitamin thingy.
And it's really good. You should look it up and take it because it's good.
It's like de-stressor, relaxer kind of deal. So yeah. Transition music. Now, for some gaming stories, I got a couple that I like a lot. That would be the first one. I literally just looked these up too, 5 minutes before we started recording. But the Vancouver Canucks, which are an NHL hockey team, bans video games on road trips because Fortnite is well on its way to ruining the NHL.
What?
Yeah. So, it says, this article on Deadspin.com titled exactly what I just said by Barry Pacheski says, the Canucks veterans, such as they are, have led the players to self-institute a ban on all video games on the road. Quote, no more Fortnite, unquote, Bo Horvat told TSN, which is the Canadian version of ESPN. And I guess it's their coach or something, because he says, in my opinion, there's a better way to spend time on the road, whether it's hanging out with the guys in the room or going to a movie with the guys. There's a lot of cool cities we visit, and to be cooped up in your room all night playing Fortnite is a waste of your time. Well, there's no actual reason as to why they banned it. It's not because the people playing it are missing practices
right.
or whatever. They're just I'm 70 years old and I hate video games. Movies are much better, even though they're the same.
Can I also just say
in a way?
Can I just say that if it was me, it's I wouldn't want to go out and do stuff before games and stuff. I would want to relax at home. It's that's.
Yeah. It's why are you banning them?
If I'm working a lot, I wouldn't want to go out and go to the movies. I want Sean and I will just hang out and play video games literally. If I'm going out and doing things would have a hockey game, then I would not want to go out. I would just want to stay at home and relax. So that guy can shut up.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking stupid. Like I said, they're not missing practice or they're not
abusing
slacking off. Yeah, they're not abusing it. They're just we don't like video games, so we're banning it. Old people, man, they're the worst.
Millennials are the worst.
Yeah, them they're fort nuts. They're fuck nuts. Yeah, video game players, they're not the most athletic people typically, and I can say that because I am in that group of fat video game people.
Stop.
Out of shape, and they hate sports people generally because they're they say video games are stupid, so I hate them. But it's this isn't doing much to make people like them at all, and like sports in general.
It's everyone has their own thing that they enjoy doing, so
this is just furthering the gap between people who like sports and people who like video games.
Mm-hmm.
It's making this you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just because they're athletic, they should be out doing things instead of just relaxing and playing video games.
Yeah.
It's no, they can do what they want to do. If they don't want to go out and see a movie because they don't want to see it and you do, it's then don't get mad because they don't want to go with you and they'd rather play video games. They'd rather do that with their time.
Yeah. I love sports. I love baseball and I love hockey. So it's it makes me angry because this guy's obviously 70. No one our age to I said really just our age and under think like that. There's a lot of people probably my sister's generation who think video games are dumb and stuff and or think esports takes no skills and it's stupid and they probably think Ninja being on ESPN magazine is the most offensive thing in the world. Apparently, there was some soccer game somewhere in the world. I don't know where or when exactly, but people in the crowd were throwing controllers on the field in protest of video games.
Oh my god.
I want to try and quickly find that on the internet. Okay, so I found this article Variety.com says Swiss soccer fans temporarily stop game to protest esports. It's not just video games in general, but esports. It says soccer fans in Switzerland delayed a match on Sunday to protest esports in an unusual way. According to the Associated Press, the fans reportedly threw tennis balls and game controllers onto the field, forcing the referee to stop the game between Young Boys, that's their name, and FC Basel for 2 minutes while everything was cleared away. The Young Boys protesters then held up a giant banner with a pause button symbol, while Basel fans also raised their own signs supporting the protest. One of the banners read, "Scheiß esports," which roughly translates to "esports are shit."
Wow.
So, I don't even know what the big fucking deal is. It's like this is like the equivalent, I'm gonna get political, to like Trump supporters and like all those people getting mad about like Black Lives Matter. And like the minorities like becoming like popular and like everyone like being more accepting of them. They're scared of their sports rights being taken away from them. It's essentially the same thing.
I just don't understand.
Like,
I might piss someone off by saying this, but like, to me, golf isn't a sport. Like,
I think it's a sport.
Like, but no, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I think that like, it's like, you could say that sports is like a high like energy like running thing, like soccer. You have to run around and have skills and blah blah. And baseball, you have to like have skills and whatnot. Have to be able to throw really hard and have good aim and blah blah blah. And it's like with golf, you stand there and like, I mean, it depends. Like if you're just like putting or whatever it's called, then that's like you just are slowly hitting a ball.
Hitting a golf ball far is pretty hard.
Right.
And
right.
Like, getting
like,
it
know,
so
like,
precise is pretty hard too.
You know, like putting or whatever it's called, where it's like you're just trying to get it to the hole, not long distance. It's like
yeah, it's putting.
It's like that is not high. I mean, it probably is high energy to them, but it's like it also is very like relaxed as in the sense of like moving around a ton. Like you're not sprinting back and forth. You're kind of just in this one spot, like aiming for a hole.
Yeah, then you ride a car to get to the ball.
So it's like, why is esports like considered not a sport? I don't know. It's like, even though I was just saying like golf isn't a sport, but it is a sport. I'm just saying that it's like a lower energy type thing, if that makes any sense.
So anyways, next story, which is an article on GameRant.com. This violent video games linked to physical aggression, says study. I'll read it. Read the first paragraph. The public debate surrounding whether or not video games led to violence has a new study to reference. This newest study states that those who play violent video games are likelier to become more physically aggressive than others. This effort is part of an international study that took place from 2010 to 2011, looking at more than over 17,000 gamers from ages 9 to 19. Moreover, an analyst of 24 studies from various countries, including the United States, Canada, and Japan, found that those who played violent video games are more likely to be sent to the principal's office for aggressive behavior or hit a non-family member. While what defines a violent video game as broad, games such as Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty are typically key examples. Study lead Jay Hull, published yesterday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, went on to say, "Our research aims to provide the most current and compelling responses to key criticism on this topic. We feel it is clear that violent video game play is associated with subsequent increases in physical aggression. It's also worth mentioning that Hull is a Dartmouth professor of psychological and brain sciences." Crazy stuff. Although this is the latest on this long-running debate, video games in relation to violence have been going on for longer than a decade, ever since the Columbine shooting in 1999. Of course, the debate has continued to rage, returning to the fore. Is that even proper grammar? Earlier this year, when a mass shooting occurred at a Madden video game tournament in Florida. One thing these Dartmouth researchers sought to do than others had not was reduce confusion concerning their findings with a meta-analysis that includes disputes about the link of violent video games to physical aggression. And I think this is the last article, or paragraph, I think. It says, it is worth addressing, however, that this research does not suggest violent video games lead to criminal behavior, but previous research does correlate risky behavior, and it says in parentheses, reckless driving, binge drinking, smoking, and unsafe sex with those who played violent video games. The effect is small but statistically reliable, according to Hull. He also went on to say the following. A lot of people ask, do these games really cause these kids to behave aggressively? I would say that is one possibility. The other possibility is that it's a really bad sign. If your kids are playing these games, either these games are having a warping effect on right and wrong, or they have a warped sense of right or wrong, and that's why they are attracted to these games. Either way, you should be concerned about it.
Okay, first of all, that article was drawn out and confusing and had terrible grammar and terrible everything.
And also didn't provide any examples as to how they came across these conclusions or how they did the study. They just said, we studied things and we found this.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Also, I just think that that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. You, regardless of what video games you choose, you as a person should know right from wrong regardless of a video game. Like, oh, you're going around and literally shooting people in GTA and are stealing their cars. It's like, you might just think it's funny at a shock value because it's like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, I would never do anything like this. So this is like a fun way to do something crazy. It's like, regardless of choosing what video game or whatever and making you warping your brain or whatever, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It's just a video game.
If someone's an aggressive person, they're going to be an aggressive person. It doesn't matter if they're playing video games or not. If you're a psycho while playing video games, you can be a psycho with other shit.
Right.
So, like, yeah, it's like saying, what's something like that where it's just like fear-mongering. Like, this person is depressed, so watching something sad makes them sad. Or like watching something sad makes you sad. So it's like, does watching sad movies make you sad? Like, obviously. Like,
right.
if you're someone who like gets sad easily, then sad things are gonna make you sad. It's like when I was a kid, I used to scream my head off and throw shit whenever I played games. But that's when like anger-inducing things would happen, and I wouldn't get mad. I wouldn't like freak out if like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto and I'm just like fucking around and shooting people and stuff. Like, I wouldn't be like, I love killing you. I'd be like, that's funny. But like, if I was playing a sports game and like the other guy like scored on me, I would freak the fuck out because I'm like, like, I hate you for scoring on me. And I don't know, it's just like stupid. This article by Game Rant, they're obviously a video game site, so I don't know why they would like promote bullshit like this. And another part at the end of the article, it says, recently, another report suggested that popular battle royale game Fortnite was as addictive as heroin to some.
Oh my goodness.
So it remains to be seen how these latest studies will work their way into the public debate.
Why are you comparing video games to heroin?
Because it has the word Fortnite in it, in heroin, and it's a video game, and your mom will see that and be like, ah! And like click on it and shit herself, and then ban you while she's like smoking cigarettes and drinking alcohol.
I just don't understand. Why is anyone making playing video games an issue? Like, if
Because
you could
people
be
like it.
you could be out and doing horrible things, like, but instead you're sitting at home playing a violent video game and would rather do that than go out and like play fucking soccer. It's like, I don't want to play soccer. I don't enjoy soccer.
Yeah,
I
what's the
enjoy
difference?
coming home from school or coming home from work and relaxing and playing online with my friends. Like, I don't know why it's such an issue. I don't know why anyone is making Fortnite be this huge issue. It's like, I don't understand.
Because
You could be out doing so many horrible things.
Because people love to write articles about things that are trending, so they get clicks and money and whatnot. So they pick whatever's trendy. They pick something, because people don't click on positive things. They click on, like, fear-mongering negative things. So they like, how can I associate this with something terrible, and then like get some clicks on it.
And people are making it so like, a girlfriend sets up her phone to record her boyfriend and be like, babe, that you need to do the dishes. I cooked dinner. You need to do the dishes, as he's literally right in the middle of a game, and she'd be like, babe, I said earlier that you needed to do the dishes, and you're playing this game still. It's like, all right, yeah, I'll get to it, like something. It's like, no, you said I asked you once to do it while you were also in the middle of a game, but I don't like that there's dishes sitting there, so I'm going to say right now you have to get up and do it in the middle of your game. I don't care. And then he's like, yep, after this match, and then she goes and unplugs his fucking PS4, and he stands up and screams. It's like,
That's not the video game's fault. That's just dysfunctional.
That's just, number one, it's like, he said, okay, after this match, or whatever, so it's like, it's like, well, I already told you once. It's like, okay, so what, was he, like, in the middle of another match, or, like, something? It's like, you're making it so much more dramatic than it is. It's like, maybe he was at work all day and tired and just want to play a couple rounds with his friends before they go to sleep, and then he can go and do the dishes. Like, it's making it such a bigger deal than what it actually is, and it's, you're going and unplugging his PS4 to get a point across. It's like, don't touch his fucking game. It's like, I get it, you want the dishes done, but it's such an over dramatic thing. It's all over dramatic. All of it. It's so, like, either fake or just over dramatic. Like, if it was the other way around, you would freak out too if it was something that you were doing. If he's like, hey, like, you need to do the dishes because I cooked, and you're in the middle of fucking, like, doing something that you like, and he unplugged it from you, you would fucking scream and freak out.
I don't really understand the stigma around video games in general. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it was always shunned in the first place. Like, what about them is like, I don't understand. They're fucking cool.
Because
video games are dope. Everyone plays games. They're always sitting on their smartphones playing fucking Clash of Clans or some dumb shit.
It's because in the 80s...
But then, like, someone's playing Fortnite or World of Warcraft or something actually, good. They're like, you're a nerd and you should be ashamed and embarrassed for playing video games.
It's because in the 80s, they'd be like, you're sitting too close to the TV and it's frying your brain. And it's like, what?
No.
What are you talking about?
Whatever. People are dumb. And yeah, let's just move on to something a little more lighthearted here. We're gonna move on to Discord queries, where you, the listener / viewer, you can ask me questions, tell me stories, and the channel podcast questions in my Discord. The Discord link will be in the description if I remember to do it, which I really hope I will. So we got a couple things, nothing too crazy. This one's from LinksOrton90, who's also a Patreon supporter, which you can also support us on Patreon for $1 or more a month. That link's in the description. He says, since it's October, why not scary stories from our past? When I was 7, I had constant nightmares of the boogeyman. Night after night, the exact same dream. I dreamt I was terrorized in my room, and when I woke up, it looked like nothing had happened in my room. Every night, it was so realistic. I honestly doubt they were dreams, but who knows? It would explain a few scars I have.
Damn.
So apparently a boogeyman fucked him up.
I think that reoccurring dreams means like something. Like if having the same dream over and over again means something, and having the same like terrifying dream means something.
I don't have recurring exact dreams, but I have dreams all the time of like spiders that are just like I can't not look like anywhere, not see like several spiders, and it's always in my my first house.
So there's obviously some sort of like fear. That's like me with, I have dreams that people are throwing up and I cannot get away from it, and I have a fear of vomit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I will have it, and you know what? Like you get those dreams where like, say you're trying to run away from something and you like can't run, like you're all like slow and are like trying wicked hard, or like trying to punch someone and it's like not
Molasses.
going. Yeah, exactly.
Molasses.
It's like I have dreams where like someone's throwing up next to me, I'm trying to run away and I can't, and then all of a sudden they're in the room right next to me. Like once I finally run out of the room, it's just a fear thing. Spiders must have really scared you in your house.
Yeah, because if you go in the basement and you look up at the ceiling, it's like at the laundry room pretty much. It's like the same kind of place.
Yeah, so it's all like an unfinished
it's like
basement.
Old as fuck. And like smelly and like stone floor and walls and stuff.
Yeah.
If you look up, there'd be like cobwebs upon cobwebs upon cobwebs upon cobwebs, like every fucking where. And I hate the fuck out of spiders. There's always daddy long legs in that goddamn place, like everywhere. And it's like in our right when you walk into our door in the hallway, there's like 5 daddy long legs just like above the door, and it scares the fuck out of me every single time I walk to the door. So I like don't even look up anymore. I just like look down while I come inside, and close the door, and then I like go upstairs. Then I turn around and look up at all the spiders because I'm scared. I'm like,
okay, so I have not cleaned the spiders because I think spiders are cute and I think they're just hanging out. They have their little web, their little home. They're just hanging out, and that's it. So I haven't done anything about the spiders at the bottom of the hallway, but I will get rid of them.
well, we live in an apartment where there's 3 total
Apartments.
And it's like everyone's hallway, so it's not like our responsibility to do it.
I just leave it because I don't have an issue with it, but
There's
I'll get
like
rid of
5 surrounding the door.
Yeah, because they're just hanging
been there for
out.
like 2 months.
They're cold. They just want to be inside, just hanging out.
Yeah, trying to kill me.
They're not trying to kill you. They're just hanging out.
Daddy longlegs is the most poisonous spiders in the world.
But they don't bite.
They're also not the most poisonous spiders.
I know they have, or at least I read that they are poisonous, but they don't bite.
They're like incredibly not poisonous. They literally like have no venom. They do have venom, but doesn't do anything to people. Trust me, when I was a kid, I used to be on Snopes all the time and like debunk shit. That's how I know that like that myth about you eating several spiders per year in your sleep is like not true at all.
Yeah, it's not true.
That's how I first found that out. I'm like, who started this? Why do people just blindly believe everything? Why can't they just literally... I was like 8 and I was saying these things. Like, why can't they just go on the internet, search this, and see if it's true or not, but they spread false information?
Yeah.
I hate false information. People we work with, when they tell people the wrong stuff, I'm like, why?
People are
just
training.
ask us.
People are training other people and giving false information.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there like...
I hate false information.
Yeah.
I hate fake news. I hate CNN. I love Trump.
Alright, moving on.
Lucas says, would you hang out with me on a regular basis if we were to live in the same area and I was of legal age? Yes, I would. That would be fun. I can't wait to do that, Lucas. Well, he says 18 because Link's ordinance says, what would the legal age be? And he says the 8th of teens. Tron is almost 18. Mr. Cumbot says, I'm 17, but next month is my birthday, so yeah.
Happy
Lucas
almost
says,
birthday, Tron.
Lucas says, that's why you're black. I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
And Punk Agent says, Sean would never hang with me even though I'm 18. It's not true at all.
I'm not driving a million hours to come see you yet, at least.
And this last one's from Clayful. It says, which character do you think would be better to have a relationship, Bowsette or Waluigi?
Bowsette.
They're both evil.
Yeah, but Bowsette got a thick bod, get a nice comfy
True, why would I
bod.
fucking have sex with Waluigi? He's lanky,
scrawny.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, Bowsette.
Let's be real.
Thick B.
If I had to fuck one dude, it'd be Bowsette.
Hell yeah.
Alright, everyone. It is Halloween month. Spooktober. Splatoween. Sploogetober. Whatever you want to call it. They're the jack off a lantern month.
What?
And this episode, we got a few scary stories. Emma, how many do you think you'll be telling today?
Maybe 4 or 5.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm going to tell mine.
Okay, go ahead.
I have one. And
is it really good?
I liked it a lot, but my delivery of it might not be that great, so.
Okay, because I was going to say we should save the best for last, if you'd rather save that for after my stories.
Are yours good?
I'd say they're okay, yeah. We should probably not say that. We shouldn't be like, they're okay.
So, viewers, listeners, beware, because if you believe in the paranormal, then you might have some sort of psychosomatic reaction to this, because I think it's a load of bullshit. It's all just psychosomatic. But this story is about this haunted doll called Peggy the Doll. And the headline of this article I'm going to be reading from dailymail.co.uk is, watch at your own risk. Video of haunted doll causes 80 viewers to reportedly suffer chest pains, nausea, and crippling headaches. Are you ready? Are you feeling psychosomatic yet?
I already am tweaking out. I can't breathe. My chest is caving in. My head is throbbing.
Apparently, one British woman had a heart attack from this video.
Okay.
So I heard this about Peggy the Doll on a podcast called And That's Why We Drink. I like it a lot. They talk about paranormal stuff as well as true crime. But in this episode, they talked about this certain episode. They talked about Peggy the Doll, and I was like, "This is dope." And I was like, "I'm gonna steal their idea and tell it on my show." And here we are. So, paranormal investigator Jane Harris, based in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England, said she has received an influx of messages from people describing chest pains, nausea, and crippling headaches after viewing photos and videos of Peggy, who she believed to be possessed with an evil spirit. Some reported flashing visions of mental institutions and treatment bordering on abuse, and overwhelming feelings of anxiety. In this article, you can watch the video, so if you got some guts...
Sean's going to link it in the description.
Yep. If you got guts, then you can go to this article and watch the video. Emma,
Did you watch it? No, I don't want to watch it.
Do you want to see a picture of the doll?
No.
The doll itself is not creepy at all. It's just like a regular. It's not like tattered and destroyed and like mangly and stuff. It's just like I don't see the big deal. Like, why is it so scary? It's because it's not. But
as I'm too scared to look at it, I don't want to see it.
Okay. Just gonna be an enigma in your mind. One woman who wishes to remain anonymous even suffered an alleged heart attack after watching a video of Miss Harris and Peggy in a car together on March 16th. If I had to guess, I'd say close to 80 people have come forward with experiences, said Mrs. Harris, who had been studying spirit attachment since the death of her cousin Kelly in 2000. Some are small, like computer screens freezing, sharp headaches, or a sense of dread, but others are more disturbing. One lady said that When she opened a photograph of Peggy, her computer froze on the picture and the room went cold. She then says she felt something in the room with her and could hear them moving around. This lady was messaging me at the time via Facebook asking me to quickly advise her on what to do. I took Peggy down into an isolation area and requested that she cease her tormenting. Apparently, everything returned to normal. People have... There's like a caption of a picture of the doll. It says, people have described chest pains, nausea, and crippling headaches. They already said that earlier in the article. Mrs. Harris continued. Another lady yesterday said she had been experiencing light bulbs blowing and a presence in her home after she had been speaking about Peggy. With Peggy, it's not only while people are looking at her or watching her, it seems to be afterwards too. Mrs. Harris, who has herself experienced migraines and feeling drained after working with Peggy, said she had never seen a case of this intensity before. She runs an organization called Haunted Dolls and often gets random items in the post with no prior background. Did I say background? Oh. Mrs. Harris uses an array of gadgets and experiments to piece together the puzzles surrounding them. Peggy was sent to her recently after her previous owners reported a series of terrifying nightmares. She'd wake feeling hot and shaken, Miss Harris said. No matter where she moved the doll to in her home, the nightmares persisted. She apparently sought the help of a local priest, but 2 visits later, and there was no change. It is thought she is possessed by the spirit of a woman born in 1946 in London's Holland Park, who died of a chest-related condition, possibly an asthma attack, and strongly dislikes clowns. A lot of people, including 2 mediums, have said they feel she was linked to the Holocaust and was possibly Jewish. 4 different psychic mediums have read Peggy, all invariably picking up that she is restless, frustrated, and was persecuted in life. We have been told she can affect people's dreams, Miss Harris said. She recently visited a lady in her dreams, warning her about one of her cats. The next morning, the lady found her cat very ill, and he sadly died that day. It's fucked up. There is still a shroud of mystery surrounding Peggy's religion. According to Mrs. Harris, she appears to have an aversion to a crucifix necklace she was previously made to wear, suggesting she is not a Christian. A lot of people, including 2 mediums, have said they feel she has links to the Holocaust and was probably Jewish. We have conducted automatic writing sessions with her, in which the words star and the name David came up, so there is possibly a link there.
Wow.
I ended up apologizing to Peggy as I felt maybe she disapproved of us chatting about her, and my symptoms stopped. 3 days later, another Peggy video inspired Lindy to have an overdue conversation with her daughter about how they were to deal with her mental health issues. My daughter has been unwell for 6 months and things were strained and stressful, she said. Late that morning, I found myself having a much-needed heart-to-heart with her. All the things I had wanted to say for months were just flowing from my mouth. I found it very difficult communicating in such a way with her due to her illness. I felt that Peggy had helped me. So she thinks that, like, the doll helped her just say shit to her daughter that she felt like needed to say. That she needed to say because her daughter was, like, depressed or something. Like, mentally ill. Lindy did not know that the automatic writing session with Peggy was taking place, but when she logged on to Facebook and saw images of the messages received during the session, one seemed to be for her. The words "Lindy Girl!" explanation draw a line written on the paper. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was basically what I had just been talked about between me and my daughter, she said. Though they have had offers from other psychics to rid Peggy of her spirit, Mrs. Harris and the Haunted Dolls team are going to research her case. I've been asked to take her along to various paranormal events and investigations at haunted locations, but for now, I want to continue my private studies into her case. And on the podcast that I listened to, Zach Bagans, who's the lead dude on Ghost Adventures, one of my favorite shows ever, he has the doll, I guess, or something, like, in his haunted museum. and there's like one of the tour guides there. He like didn't believe in ghosts or anything until Peggy came along, because when the doll first got there, he didn't know anything about her. But later that night, he like had some fucked up dream, and he later found out that he had a dream about like seeing the doll like, in his dream, but he had never seen her before. And then when he got there, like his next shift or whatever, like there was the doll, and he like shat himself pretty much, and now he believes in ghosts forever because Peggy the doll made him have a dream about her when he didn't even know she existed.
Wow, what the hell?
Can you explain that? I can't explain that. And also, I guess Peggy, if someone talks shit to her, like at Zach Bagans' museum thing, because they're like, oh, this is his doll. Apparently, she like fucks with them, like later on or something, or like, makes like the lights flicker and stuff. So yeah, like apparently Peggy makes people. Apparently, even hearing about Peggy makes people like feel nauseous and stuff and have headaches. But I think that's psychosomatic.
It definitely is psychosomatic.
There's absolutely no way.
But also,
that it works that.
It also like that's a huge thing. Psychosomatic is a huge thing because I'm like scared right now.
But it's like it doesn't happen because it's paranormal. She's not she's not casting a spell on you because I myself am talking about her after I'm reading this thing on the internet.
Oh no!
There's no way. How many people are probably talking about her right now in the world?
No, it's to see if you have a dream tonight or if the lights flicker or whatever.
Well, I heard the podcast talk about it and no big issues.
When did you hear the podcast?
A couple weeks ago. When I went to go see my gram like at night that one time.
Maybe that's why you had scary dreams last night. Or maybe that's why you had some scary dreams.
No, that was weeks ago.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty interesting. There's definitely more to it. Because after reading this, I thought this was going to have all of it. But it doesn't. There's definitely more to it. Like EVPs and spirit box stuff. Which is like a box that sweeps through different radio frequencies to like communicate with the dead, like stuff like that. But yeah, I don't like to be prepared for things. So. All
right, so he's gonna link it in the description, and you guys can look into it and see if you can watch the video and look at pictures of her and see if anything happens to you and let us know.
Leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment if anything fucked up happens to you, because then I'll probably shit myself. All right, now it's Emma's time to tell a story.
This guy who died and got a second chance.
I'm excited.
September 2015. I was a freshman who had just entered high school 2 weeks prior. Already school was weighing down on me, and I had been continuing a habit I had of going on walks to clear my mind. On this day, I'd been walking around a pond near my house. There's a trail that goes around the pond, and then the trail leads up to a set of abandoned train tracks on the other side, which sit about 15 feet above the path and pond below. After walking the circle, I was crossing the train tracks when I decided I wanted some ice cream. The fastest way to get to the ice cream shop was to take the path below the train tracks, but there isn't any way to cross the pond without going all the way back around. And being 14 years old, I decided that I could just jump from the tracks onto the path below and keep walking. Looking down from above, it didn't seem to be that far of a jump, so that's what I did. The next thing I remember after that was being half-conscious in an ambulance. Everything was extremely blurry, and the paramedics sounded slightly panicked. I wasn't able to move either of my legs, so I think that they were both broken. The scene continued on for a few minutes until we arrived at the hospital. I was wheeled into the emergency room on a stretcher. I only had a few minutes in the emergency before I eventually lost all consciousness, and that was the last thing I saw. After I'd been unconscious for what felt like about an hour, I opened my eyes and I was on the ground. I just hit the ground after jumping, but this time I was fully conscious. I hadn't noticed this before I jumped, but there had been a car parked watching me. I think they thought I was attempting suicide, but it probably looked that way. and the people in it had jumped out and called an ambulance for me. The ambulance ride had been the exact same as if it was the first time, and I was put into the same emergency room that I had, quote-unquote, died in before. The only difference between the two events was that I was fully conscious this time. My injuries were much more minor. I was discharged from the hospital that same night with only stitches in my lip, a slightly fractured jaw, and a mild concussion. For a while after this, I assumed that the first scenario had just been a weirdly coincidental dream that I had while I was unconscious, so I didn't consider it anything abnormal. It wasn't until a few weeks later when my mom told me that the people who had helped me said that I had been conscious the entire time. I hadn't been knocked out after hitting the ground or anything, so the entire scenario managed to happen in the few seconds it took me to hit the ground while I was still conscious. That's just crazy.
Holy shit.
That's not as much scary as the other things, but
we're just getting started.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I included it. All right, so the next one. Grandparents are always experiencing crazy things. I only vaguely remember the incident, but one night, very late, both of my grandparents were woken up by a loud sound. My grandmother swore it was a shotgun. My grandpap said it was a car backfiring since there was no one nearby who would be shooting. We lived pretty much far from anyone, but near a highway. They bickered over it a bit, then went back to bed. About 15 minutes or so later, the phone rang. It was my aunt. Her husband had been shot with a shotgun by a neighbor just 20 minutes before. The thing is, they lived 7 states away.
What the fuck? So the shotgun noise is traveling through space and time?
Hell yeah.
Weird.
Hell yeah.
Stuff like that, you literally, can't explain.
Yeah.
Even if there was, proof of ghosts, you still couldn't explain that.
I know. That's I'm pretty positive it's a scientific fact that twins, if one twin gets hurt, the other twin can almost feel it. It's when one of them is sad, the other one's sad. It's there must have been some sort of their close connection between them to have that.
It's that gut feeling when you just know something's wrong.
Yeah.
But extreme.
Yeah.
Because that's
that's so weird. Or it's just a crazy coincidence. It's still.
Or it's even if it is a coincidence, it's fate.
Right. It's that there's no such thing as a real coincidence because that's crazy.
It's the movie Signs when they argue about if coincidences are real, which we should totally watch Shines tonight.
Shines? We can watch Shines if you want.
I love Shines.
We're going to watch Shines.
Shines.
All right. Telling your friend you had a dream about them dying can have shocking consequences. This had been playing on my mind for years now. I had a very realistic dream about a friend of mine when we were both 19. In that dream, he died, and we were sitting against a brick wall talking, and he was telling me that sometimes our time is up, and to make the most of it and give me some advice. Giving me some advice. I woke up the next morning and was freaked out, so I called him and told him about it. He laughed and said that would suck, but reassured me that he was fine and not going anywhere. 2 days later, I had a call from his parents to say he had suddenly died in his sleep. The last time I spoke to him was when I called him after my dream.
The fuck?
I can't even imagine.
Are these real stories?
These are real stories.
Okay.
These are not Reddit fake stories. These are real stories. The next one is, this employee got to work and learned he had called himself in sick hours earlier. This happened in early 2000 when I was working at a juvenile detention center in a small town in Oklahoma as a corrections officer. I was working nights, and at the time, I went to work at 9 p.m. This one night, when I arrived for work, my supervisor looked confused and asked me what I was doing there. I said, I work tonight. And he said, but they said you called in a few hours ago saying that you were sick. I was a bit confused, and they said it must have been someone else and they got the message wrong. After everyone else showed up for work that night, it was a bit more weird, but we carried on as usual and assigned everyone to their places for the night. I went to work in the control room where I usually work. The control room is the center of the prison that has direct control over the cameras, doors, phones, and everything. After I relieved the guard on duty and settled in for the night, I looked at the message that said I called in. It said that I had called in at 6:50 and said that I had gotten sick while cleaning up after the storm. There had been a storm the night before, and it was a bit bad, but not anything that I had to go out to clean up. It was truly weird. The supervisor came into the control about that time. He was also a friend of mine outside of work, and we started talking about it and how odd it was. I decided to call my wife at home and tell her about it while he was still sitting there. I picked up the phone and dialed. After 2 rings, a man picked up the phone with a raspy voice, said, "Hello?" I did not know what to say for a few seconds. I looked at the phone to make sure I dialed the right number, and I had. After a few seconds, the person again said, "Hello?" Again in the same raspy voice. I said, "Hello? Who is this?" "This is Taylor. Who is this?" The person said. My head started spinning because my name is Taylor also. I said in almost a scream, "Where is Anne?" He said, "Anne's in bed. Who is this?" I dropped the phone and told my supervisor to ring me out. I had to get home, and I took off towards the door. I could hear Dave pick up the phone behind me and say, "Hello," followed soon after the "what the fuck" rather loudly. I ran to my car and drove home faster than what was legal, my mind racing the entire time. I busted through the door and my wife was sitting watching TV and was shocked at me being home. I asked her who was there and she said no one had been there. After a rather long talk with my wife, I went to call the prison to tell them what was going on, but the phone was dead. I went back to work, and when I came in, Dave was acting weird and asked me, "How the hell are you doing this?" He told me that when I left, he picked up the phone and the person on the other end sounded like me. He kind of freaked out and hung up the phone. A minute later, as he could see my car leaving the parking lot, I had called back from home and asked what the fuck was going on. He said that I was a bit irate and said I was sick and did not feel like playing these games and was telling him to stop prank calling me and hung up. After convincing him I had no idea what was going on, we went back to work. Later, I found out that the phone line from my area had been knocked down from the night before because of the storm. This is absolutely the strangest thing that has ever happened to me.
Yeah, it's kind of an understatement.
That's like...
This is pretty weird.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Like, that was like that doesn't make... I don't know if I believe that. Although, it is good as fuck.
Yeah.
That made me uneasy.
Yeah, I can't even imagine something like that. But
creepy.
Apparently these are legit, true stories.
That's creepy as fuck. Ugh,
Yeah.
Maybe, like, it sent shivers down my nips.
Yeah.
Like, my nips are hardening right now.
Shit.
Right? And this cat's, like, twerking on me.
Cat's, like, on the back of Sean's chair right now, like, rubbing against him.
That was a good story.
All right,
I have... favorite one so far.
I have one more.
One more. That's perfect. Perfect timing to close out the show.
All right. Lost 4 hours of his life, but the girlfriend did too.
Oof.
8 years ago, I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment by myself with 2 cats. I had a girlfriend, who I'll call Elsa for the story, who lived 45 minutes away on her college campus. Most weekends, she would drive into town and stay at my place until she had class again on Monday. We did regular things as we didn't get to see much of each other. We liked to spend time alone together, watching movies, playing games, or the like. Please keep in mind that neither of us were drug or alcohol users, as I have a good job and can't risk losing, and she just simply never cared for intoxicants. Nor were either of us on any medication. So here's the scene. It's Saturday night, 11 p.m. Elsa and I are sitting on the couch, watching a movie. We are dressed, sober, and alert. As we slept in that morning and had plenty of sleep, we are chatting, laughing, talking. The TV is illuminating our immediate area, and I kept the light on in the kitchen to provide some ambient light for the living room as well. My cats are asleep in their favorite chair, all is well. Everybody is safe and comfortable. Suddenly, without any kind of inkling or warning, the quote-unquote jump, as I've come to call it, happened. You know when you're watching dialogue in a movie and they're using 2 cameras to film? When they switch from camera to camera to capture the one speaking, it is seamless. With no clipping, interruption, fading, or transition effects, it was that sudden. We were having a good time together in the living room when in an instant I found myself sitting on the foot of my bed, clothes removed, in the dark. For about one half of a second, a million thoughts entered my mind. Had something falling off the wall and hit my head? Did I have a seizure? Was I dreaming the whole time? Where is Elsa? Then the scary part. I turned to my right, and Elsa is also sitting on the foot of my bed next to me, clothes removed. Her eyes are the size of golf balls, and she's trembling. I realize as I am as well. I try to speak and ask her if something happened, but I'm so frightened. I only stutter. After looking around the room and realizing we are alive, she managed to ask me what happened. I didn't want to answer in case it was just me, and I didn't want to come off as nuts. I just looked at her. After a pause, she started asking me again if I had turned off the lights or removed our clothes or if I knew what was going on. I didn't. Neither of us had experienced grogginess or confusion before the event. Furthermore, we didn't experience any sensations other than fear and confusion after it. No aches, no pains, no bumps, bruises, or cuts. I reached for my phone to call my mom and see if a doctor would be appropriate. I noticed that it's not 11 p.m. anymore. Now it's 3 a.m. In that sudden instant, that instantaneous change of scene, 4 hours had passed. Everything in the house had been turned off and we had been stripped. We went to the ER as my mom's fear was a gas leak. No signs of toxins or injury were found on either of us. Elsa made an appointment for a CAT scan, which also came back as expected. I explored possibilities like a gas leak, poisoned consumer goods like our soda or fast food, neurological malfunctions, and more. But the one thing that had always bothered me was the fact that Elsa and I lost and acquired the time at the exact same instance, 4 hours apart. Neither of us witnessed anything that the other didn't, and there were no lingering effects. For weeks, I just kept bringing it up to her, just hoping that one of us would remember something. I browsed forums for all types of sites, searching for answers. Every time I brought it up, Elsa would get scared at the memory and beg me to just let it go, but I couldn't.
What do you think of that?
I don't know.
These stories kind of remind me of, like, creepypastas.
It does kind of remind me of creepypastas, but apparently they're real. Like, actually real.
This just doesn't make any sense. I think it was aliens. Alien abduction. You know how many times people are abducted by aliens and, like, or allegedly, I guess I should say, and they just appear somewhere, like, as if, like how he said, how a scene changed in a movie with, like, no transition whatsoever. It just happens.
And they lose, like, a bunch of hours.
Yeah, and they're naked.
Yeah, sounds to me like aliens.
And everything was off. Like, because, like, the UFO causes malfunctions. Cause a power surge. People are SMHing me right now, but man, I'm telling you, the aliens, they're here, they're watching, they're abducting. They're impregnating. My nipple juice. They would just sucked out my nipple juice with their fingers like an alien.
Like an alien.
So, that has been Scary Stories, as read by Emma, once again. Let's get this in here again.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
That was a good show. I like that one. I like it as much as the last one.
Spooktober.
Spooktober. I wish I could come up with an original name, but that sucked. So
we'll try. If you guys have a suggestion for a name.
Suggestions for names, suggestions for stories.
Monoween.
Subject matter. Monoween. I like mine, Jack-Offo-Lantern. Jack-Offo-Lantern. If you have ideas for subject matter or fecal matter, just leave a comment. Say it in Discord, reply to me on Twitter, whatever, any way you want to get a hold of me, you can do so. Support us on Patreon for $1 or more a month. That's all you gotta do. If every one of my 1,200 and whatever subscribers just gave me $1 per month, I'd be one rich boy.
One rich boy.
So $1, even if it's just $1, that'll help out a lot. Believe it or not, it does. And you also become a member and get exclusive emojis and such, badges for the live streams. That's $5 a month on YouTube. And leave a like, tell your friends, listen with your friends, have them leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that shit. And
until next time.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.